Exposing the cracks in our global economic foundation, we are witnessing a world that seems eerily reminiscent of a bygone era. The signs are all around us, from the deteriorating infrastructure to the growing economic disparities. These visual cues are not just isolated incidents, but part of a larger, more troubling picture. Christine Lagarde's latest speech warns of a turbulent future. Are we prepared? Her words resonate deeply, echoing the concerns of many economists and financial experts who have been sounding the alarm for years. The question remains, are we truly ready to face the challenges that lie ahead? On September 20th, Christine Lagarde, President of the European Central Bank, delivered a critical speech at the IMF in Washington, D.C. This speech was not just another routine address, but a clarion call to the global community. Lagarde's insights are drawn from her extensive experience and deep understanding of the global financial system. She drew stark parallels between today's economic climate and the 1920s, warning of a potential significant downturn. Lagarde highlighted recent disruptions, the global health crisis, which has left economies reeling and exposed the vulnerabilities in our systems. The parallels she draws are not just historical, but deeply relevant to our current situation. Geopolitical tensions in Europe and the Middle East have further exacerbated the situation. These regions, already fraught with historical conflicts, are now facing new challenges that threaten to destabilize the global order. The ripple effects of these tensions are felt worldwide, impacting trade, security, and economic stability. And the most severe energy shock since the 1970s has added another layer of complexity. The energy crisis is not just about rising prices, but about the fundamental shifts in how we produce and consume energy. This shock has far-reaching implications for industries, households, and entire economies. These pressures, she argued, are permanently reshaping the global economy, much like the lead-up to the Great Depression. The economic landscape is changing, and the old rules no longer apply. We are entering a new era where adaptability and resilience are key. Her mention of global fragmentation indicates the end of the open, liberal economic order. This fragmentation is not just a political phenomenon, but an economic reality that affects how countries interact and trade with each other. The interconnectedness that once defined the global economy is now under threat. Geopolitical tensions are pushing countries to prioritize trade with allies over financial benefits. This shift is reshaping global trade patterns, with countries increasingly looking inward and forming exclusive blocs. The implications of this shift are profound, affecting everything from supply chains to international relations. The EU and US efforts to decouple from China exemplify this shift, posing significant challenges, especially for emerging markets. These markets, which have relied heavily on global trade, now face an uncertain future. The decoupling process is complex and fraught with risks, both for the countries involved and the global economy as a whole. Technological advancements present new hurdles for central banks. The rapid pace of innovation is creating new financial instruments and markets that are difficult to regulate. Central banks must navigate this new landscape carefully, balancing the need for innovation with the imperative of stability. Lagarde emphasized the need for innovative approaches beyond traditional monetary policy. The old tools are no longer sufficient to address the new challenges. Central banks must think creatively and adopt new strategies to manage the evolving economic environment. Enter the digital euro, a solution Lagarde strongly supports. This digital currency represents a significant shift in how we think about money and finance. It offers new opportunities for efficiency and security, but also poses new challenges for regulation and implementation. The European Central Bank has already begun preparations, signaling a transformative shift in European finance. This move is not just about adopting new technology, but about rethinking the very foundations of the financial system. The digital euro could revolutionize how transactions are conducted and how monetary policy is implemented. Lagarde also warned about inflation volatility and politically motivated rate cuts potentially leading to higher inflation. The risks of inflation are not just economic but political. as governments may be tempted to use monetary policy for short-term gains. This could lead to long-term instability and undermine the credibility of central banks. Her comparison of today's risks to the 1920s suggests central banks must brace for substantial economic changes. The lessons of history are clear. We must be vigilant and proactive in addressing the risks we face. The stakes are high, and the consequences of inaction could be severe. In conclusion, Lagarde's speech is a wake-up call. It is a reminder that we cannot afford to be complacent. The challenges we face are complex and multifaceted, requiring coordinated and decisive action from all stakeholders. The world is facing transformational changes. These changes are not just economic, but social and political, affecting every aspect of our lives. We must be prepared to adapt and innovate to navigate this new landscape successfully. Central banks must adapt to ensure stability amid geopolitical fragmentation, technological shifts, and inflation risks. The role of central banks is more critical than ever, as they must balance competing priorities and manage unprecedented challenges. The global economic order is evolving. Are we ready? This question is not just for policymakers, but for all of us. The future is uncertain, but with the right strategies and a commitment to resilience, we can navigate the challenges ahead and build a more stable and prosperous world.